Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and I'm sorry that this is a recording and not a live, but I'm up in Canada this week getting my mom's condo ready for sale. So I thought at the very least I could record a tutorial for you for Casing Tuesday. So I hope that you are all really well. I will be back on the 19th, so that will be my next live video, but I'm going to be dropping videos at the regular times that I go live so that you won't be without me for too long. So today is Casing Tuesday, and that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and we give it a makeover. So let's take a look at today's card. Here it is. Let me move my face over to the side a bit. So here's today's card, and I am so far ahead of time that I don't even have a sketch for you. I have someone else that does the sketches for me each month, so we can spread out all the work that there is to do behind the scenes for Casing Tuesday. And I just got, last week we got to the last sketch, so she has to do the next batch for April, and they haven't been done yet. So if you are looking for the sketch, by the time this video goes live, you'll be able to find it on my blog. So where do you find all this wonderful information? Look down below in the description of the video, and you'll click on see more, and that will expand that whole section. You'll have a supply list, you'll have a link to our Casing Facebook Casing Tuesday Facebook group. You'll have a link to my blog, and on my blog I have the sketch with all the dimensions as well. It will also be on the Casing Tuesday Facebook group. So let's take a look at this card real quick so I can give you at least some idea. The card front for our medium-sized cards with Stampin' Up! Is usually 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now my next layer, I did it as 3 3/4 by 5 inches, but this looks a little tiny bit smaller, so this was probably 3 1/2 by 3 3/4. I think that layer that's die cut there is next. My circle, let me grab my ruler. My circle will be, it's about 3 inches, so that circle's probably also about 3 inches, and that little greeting layer, it looks like it's about 1 inch wide by, I'm gonna say maybe 2 1/2, 2 3/4 inches long. But you'll find all the dimensions over on my blog, and that way you'll be able to get it. So let me share with you what my card is. And here's my card. I just love the blueberries. They are so fun. And I had fun playing with all the colors in this card. I actually used, Stampin' Up! Gave us this kind of fun color wheel on stage, and I actually used it this time. So it's kind of fun. I grabbed the colors that I wanted. So I kind of wanted like blueberry, and so then I went blueberry, I went pink, and then I went into the greens. So that's how I kind of chose my colors this time, so it was kind of fun to do that. Now this wheel is not available for purchase or anything. It's just kind of a fun guide that I'm going to use. Some people say it doesn't follow exact color theory, but I think this was designed to work with our Stampin' Up! Colors. So maybe at some point I will post this for all of you on my blog so that you can see what the color wheel looks like. It's kind of a fun deal, but that's how I chose my colors this time, because I'm not using designer series paper. Right now we're in a bit of a dearth in terms of designer series paper because we're in a carryover mode, and we have a lot of papers retiring this week. In fact, I'm trying to think what day this actually is that I'm Okay, so today is actually April 9th. So that's when our retirement sale is starting. So if you click over to the store, you'll find a category for sale items or retiring items, and they'll have some items are for sale up to 60% off. So go check that out today and see if there's anything you want to buy at a discount that is retiring. Just remember, everything's available while supplies last. Now, the products I used today on this card are carrying over because that's kind of what I want to do. I don't want to frustrate you by using things that will immediately retire. All right, let me get started and show you how I made this card. All right, I should have checked one little thing before I hopped on here, but sometimes I'm like a little, there's always something else that I need to do. I just want to check my sound real quick. Sometimes when I play with the settings, even when the microphone's not plugged in, I have problems. Oh, you know, one more thing I want to do real quick. I do have a host code going for this month, and I want to share with you that host code. So here is my April host code. If you use this, and for every $50 you spend, this is kind of a fun one, I'm going to send you a pack of my Retired Designer Series paper. So I've just pulled some packets out of my retired paper box. What I do when paper retires is I cut it up into 6x6 and I package it up and I put the paper name right on the back. Whatever's left over gets cut up to 6x6. So you'll get at least 20 sheets of Retired Designer Series paper for every $50 that you spend. So there's no limit. You can spend $300 and get 6 packs. I have a lot of retired paper to share. There's lots of different patterns that I'll be sending out. This is going to be a surprise pattern for you. I've got florals, I've got Christmas, I've got geometrics. There's just a whole bunch of different things, but nice packaged up into little nice cello bags, and it's ready to use. You don't have to be scared to cut up a 12x12 because this is already 6x6, and it's just fun, beautiful paper to play with. It's all going to be, whatever pack you get, it's all going to be coordinating because it's all going to be from the same paper pack. And they're all nice 6x6 size pieces. You're not going to get any small, teeny tiny pieces. It's all going to be beautiful paper. So for every $50 you spend, you will get a pack. Now, please use this host code right here so that I'm able to do that for you. Okay, I forgot to do that, so I'm glad I remembered. Okay, let's put this aside over here and let me share the Blueberry Bunches stamp set is what I'm using today. This was in our spring mini catalog and it is carrying over. I'm also using the Painted Textures 3D embossing folder. It's kind of got a neutral pattern to it. Looks like paper, like heavy paper that's been handmade basically. And then our good standby Stala Shapes dies. I love these. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to make the card a little bit different this time just to show you how fun it is to play with colors. So we're going to start off with a piece of our cardstock of blueberry bushel. Yes, blueberry bushel cardstock, 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I scored it in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark. And we will take that and we will just smooth down the fold. I did some advanced things this time, so we're not going to bring out the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but I just wanted to tell you how I did this. So this piece is Lemon Lime Twist, and I cut this piece to 3 3/4 inches by 5. I slid it in here and I ran it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the regular size one, the big one, and using just the base platform and then our gray adapter. Sorry, I'm gonna grab it. This gray adapter number 4 plate, because this is a thick embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder, so you're going to need your base platform and the gray plate. Run it through the machine, and then you will get this piece right here. Okay, static cling. And we are going to glue this to the card. And you know how much I love my Tombow. Now, Tombow is going up in price starting in May. So if you want to stock up on Tombow, that might be a good idea. Also, our cardstock's going up. So if you want to grab cardstock before the price increase, that's also a good idea. Okay, so look, we're doing a little bit of a reverse here. Now we're going to work on this focal point layer. And I used the Stylish Shapes dies, and I ran this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I cut myself a 3-inch circle. The Stylish Shapes dies has this nice little edging to it. I love it a lot. Okay, so then we're going to take this piece and we're going to grab our blueberries. Now there's 2 different blueberry bunches. I did a card earlier this year with this big bunch. Now we're going to grab the smaller bunch and give it a little stamp onto here. So we'll just ink this up. This is on a D block. Make sure it's nice and inky. And let me bring my card out. So you just want to try and fit this on here as best as possible without going off the edge. So you just kind of have to maneuver it. I think that's about good. If you go off a bit, it won't matter. All right. So we've got our stamped image and we're going to turn it into that image right now. So let's close this up for the moment. And we're going to bring in our Stampin' Blends. We'll start off with the Light Azure Afternoon. I am going to be using Blueberry Bushel as well, but I want to start off with a lighter blue. And the way I do this, I like to leave a little bit of white going on. And so anywhere the artist kind of helps us with the shading, right? So I'm trying to leave a little bit of white space. I'm going to come back with the darker blue and do those edges. So I'm just going to start this off. Okay, so some of the blueberries will have light, more Azure Afternoon, and some will have less. Okay. So that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like a little hot mess right now, but it's going to look better once we come in with our light blueberry bushel. And if you want my labels for the Stampin' Blends, this is my Stampin' Blends color chart that you can color in as you purchase the different colors. But I also do these little labels, and you just punch them out with a 3/8" circle punch. I'll list the link to that punch down below because it's not a Stampin' Up! Product. Then you just punch them out after you print them out and then add them to the end of your blends with a mini glue dot. And that will help you so much because I have mine in a rack and I want to store mine flat, but I can see instantly what colors are what colors. It's hard sometimes with the blues and the greens because there's so many of them to tell them apart. So it's just easier to have them, you know, be labeled. Okay, so I'm coming along and I'm doing the edges of each of the blueberries. coming along, and I'm using the bullet tips because these are small images. Okay. And I'm just gonna kind of, all right, so that ring looks really dark. So what we'll do is we'll take that and we'll blend it out with our Azure Afternoon. So I'm going on the edge now where the two colors meet. And I am going to blend that out and help those colors kind of graduate rather than just be kind of a big fat blue line, which kind of looks odd and awkward. So just blending all of that out. So the alcohol in here will just take a moment and it will just blend things out. I'm still leaving that white space though. I want to make sure I maintain that because that's where the light hits. It helps to start to look at objects and really look at, you know, what the different colors are in objects. You know, we look at trees and on first notice you'll see, oh, it's a green tree, but then you'll notice, is it a yellow green? Is it a blue green? So you really want to just kind of take a moment and blend that out. It will start to mellow in just a moment as well. Then we're going to take the light, this is Old Olive, and we're just going to hit these top parts of the blueberries. Did you know that I have some wild blueberries growing up on the hill behind our house? Last year I got like a couple of blueberries and that was it, because we weren't here the whole time when they were ripe, so I really didn't have the opportunity and we were super busy. But I thought that was just so cool that we have wild blueberries growing in our backyard. Okay, so next I'm going to do the veins of the leaves. And I'll do these all at the same time. And I'm not hitting all of them, but I'm just kind of, especially when there's a lot of little tiny lines, I'm just kind of dashing them over. I love how the artist will give us hints as to where to do the shading, and then we just go in and do the blending. Okay, again, this looks like a little bit of a hot mess right now, but that's okay because we're going to come in and now we're going to blend, scribble all over that dark and just kind of blend out those lines. Some people don't like coloring, but I find it very therapeutic, adding color to black and white images. So I'm doing a couple of things different with this one. Sometimes I like to outline my images afterwards. So here we go. So there are the blueberries. So for this one, I outlined the leaves with lemon lime twist and the blueberries with light balmy blue. So to give it a little bit of a pop, but I thought we'd experiment and see which one we like best. This one will be a more crisp design, so I won't do the outlining on this one. All right, so we're gonna just lay this here for the moment, and then we're gonna prepare our little banner. So I've got a little piece of Melon Mambo cardstock, and I believe it's 3 1/4 inches by 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/4 by 3/4. And we'll grab the greeting that comes with the stamp set, and it says, "Sending you bunches of birthday wishes," which is very appropriate for the blueberries. And I'm just going to ink this up again with the Memento. And we'll, oh, you know what? Okay, we'll just center this because I have to actually punch this on both ends. I forgot about that. So let's just stamp this right in the center, like that. And then we'll grab our Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. And I'm going to slide this in all the way to the end. Give it a punch. Slide this one in all the way to the end. Give it a punch. You know what? I kind of smudged this a little bit. So let's flip it over. Let's flip it over, and oh, you know, I left my chamois in the kitchen, so I'm not going to clean this off, but I'm going to go very light with this and try not to get too much blobby ink on this. So now when I'm coming in to stamp this, I'm going to give it a very light touch, but I'm going to keep it firm yet light, and I'm just going to wiggle it just a tiny bit without lifting it. Just wiggle a little bit from side to side and top to bottom. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, I want to just show you. I squished down really hard on this one. And you see I got a little bit of a blob under the sending, and the little on the other end, it just got a little tough. So now let's flip that over, and that looks a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to come over here, and we'll just kind of arrange this just a wee bit. Okay, that looks good. So what I'm going to do, grab this one, and if you're copying my card exactly, you can kind of just look at my sample and just kind of wing it, like not wing it. You're going to look at my sample and see how much. So from here to here, it's not quite an inch. And from here to the edge, it's maybe 3/8 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch. And then this one right here, we're going to kind of come across. I want a little bit over onto the blue. Oh, and I did dimensionals. So let's grab some dimensionals for that. Pop these on the back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll pop this over. Make sure I adhere it in the correct direction. That looks good. Okay, and then I tied a little bit of a linen thread bow, and I'll just add that right at the top corner here. This linen thread bow is not very wide, so it's going to cover the blueberries, but it's so thin that you can see the blueberries underneath, so it kind of looks, you know, fun. And you can see everything. Okay, I'm just holding that down. Tombow works well for attaching baker's twine and linen thread, but it needs just a little moment to adhere. So let's take a look at these 2 cards and look at this. I don't know which one you like better. I've got this one that we just made with the darker base, and then I went to the lemon lime twist, or I've got this one where I've got the blueberry bushel right next to the focal point. So I truly do not know which one I like better. They're both cute. They both have a different kind of feel to it. I think this one, the one with the blueberry bushel that's more prominent, it has kind of a moody, bluer feel to it. And this lemon lime twist layer right next to the white focal point is very bright and happy. So you've kind of got two different feels for the card, but they're both really neat. So you can play with that color combination. I also did try it with having like this layer be the more prominent layer, but I found that I just didn't like it as much. I like the little pop of pink because I do like blues and greens better, but you might actually like Melon Mambo more than I do, like the pinks. So play around with those color combinations and see what you like. And I really hope that you liked my card today. And I hope that you are all doing well. And I will see you in about a week and a half for my next live. And don't forget, I am going to be dropping videos for you at my regularly scheduled time. I'll have a video for you on Friday, and I will have a video for you next Tuesday. If you enjoyed this tutorial and you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I go live. Leave me a comment. I love to see those. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you're planning on ordering from me, don't forget that I have an ordering special this month. So for every $50 you spend, you'll get a retired pack of designer series paper, at least 20 sheets. And there's no limit to the number of packs that you can earn this month. All right, well, I hope you all have a great week, and I look forward to being back with you in a little bit. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.